Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I had my very first baby, my son Becca. My friend Carrie brought me my absolute favorite meal of all time I've ever been delivered was this amazing chicken pot pie. And it wasn't like any chicken pot pie. It was a really delicious chicken pot pie. It's called Savory Crumble chicken pot pie. And what I love most about it is that it is this amazing biscuit topping instead of your traditional kind. I'm gonna make that with you today and show you just how incredible it is. One of my all-time favorite recipes, perfect for fall, perfect comfort food, but it is not for the faint of heart. It does have a lot of steps, but it is delicious. So I also just wanted to start off by just saying too, I just thank you guys so much for all of your kind words and comments and feedback regarding my video last Thursday about our miscarriage and our loss. When I posted that video, I literally panicked because I felt like this is too much, this is too raw for me to post. It made me feel really vulnerable and uncomfortable, more so than I had ever experienced before. But after doing so and sharing and just hearing your guys' comments and stories and like-minded hearts, I just felt so comforted in that. So we just want to say thank you. I was just literally blown away by your kindness. So thank you so much. Back to the recipe. What I love most about this recipe, as I mentioned, is that there is this biscuit topping. So instead of a flaky crust, there's biscuits. And if you know me, you know I love biscuits. So right now, I'm just mixing the biscuit topping. And in here is just flour, baking powder, salt, a little dash of cayenne pepper, black pepper, unsalted butter, cream, and then they also, the recipe also calls for Parmesan cheese. So I'm just mixing that all together. I'm gonna bake it. And while this is baking, I have my Dutch oven going and I'm going to be boiling the chicken so that that has time to cook, and then I'll have time to shred and cut into little pieces. But yeah, when I usually make this, there are a lot of steps. So when you make it, make sure that you have the time set aside to make it. However, I cannot tell you how delicious this recipe is. It is so good. I feel like everyone I bring it to just loves it. So it's kind of like my go-to recipe because you get veggies and protein and comfort all in one. Over here in my Dutch oven, this is where most of the chicken pot pie will be built inside this dish. So I have about 2 pounds of chicken tenders that are going to be boiling and cooking in here while the biscuits bake. Lemon, can you say hi?
Hi.
Give me a big smile. There's my little cooker helper today, Amelie. Keep in mind this is 1.5 times the recipe, but that's kind of what the dough looks like when you place it on the parchment paper to bake. You just kind of want rustic, irregular shaped pieces, and you cook this for about 10 to 12 minutes until it gets slightly brown on top, because you'll be baking it again a little bit later with the whole chicken pot pie at the end. So that's kind of what it looks like. Alright, so you definitely don't want to overcook your chicken. So my chicken, I think, is done here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain it from the water and set it out to cool so that I can shred it and cut it into really small pieces. One of the reasons I love this recipe is that all the veggies that you put in and the chicken are really finely chopped, and I don't know, it just makes it so you're not getting huge chunks of a certain thing, which I particularly love. So I'm going to let the chicken cool, and then we're going to chop the veggies. Here you see we've got carrots. You need usually 3 carrots, medium-sized carrots. I'm doing 4 today. You usually need just 2 smaller celery stalks. I'm doing 3 bigger ones. You need a medium onion. I'm doing 1.5 because I'm 1.5ing the recipe. So let's get to chopping. This is the fun part. So like I mentioned, finer you can chop all your veggies and chicken, I feel like the better it makes the chicken pot pie. I personally don't like getting huge chunks of bites of vegetables, and that's kind of how I like my soups. I like everything just finer and kind of blended together more, so that's why I like this recipe. I think that's why this is so time consuming, is that I really try to take the time to really dice. To shred the carrots or to peel, I'm saving a step today and skipping that. I don't really feel like you'll be able to notice because I'm trimming them, dicing them so finely that I'm gonna just leave the skin on. Now that I'm done chopping and I have purple tunnel, look at all those veggies. That's like the hard part. And this is done. Don't those look bomb? I've got about a tablespoon of oil in this pot going, and I'm gonna just add, again, same pot that I boiled the chicken in, Dutch oven. I'm going to just pour all of our veggies into there and let them simmer and kind of soften for, I don't know, probably like 5-10 minutes or so. All right, I'm just gonna bring this to medium heat, and I'm just gonna let them simmer and soften while I cut the chicken up next. I'm going to shred and cut this into little pieces as well. It's cooled down enough, you can kind of just shred it with your hands, which is really nice and quick, or you can also dice it. It's up to you. All right, shredded chicken is done. Veggies are almost done cooking. They're almost soft. Vegetables, put them in a bowl with the chicken, and then you're gonna brown some cremini mushrooms, but I'm skipping that step because I don't like mushrooms, but I don't wanna skip the soy sauce and the tomato paste step, because I feel like that really adds flavoring. So I'm just gonna add the soy sauce and the tomato paste to these vegetables. Give it a good stir. I think it brings out some more flavors. And then I'm gonna turn this off and set these aside. And now I'm gonna make, this is kind of the last step, is making kind of the creamy part to the filling. I'm gonna take these out and put them with the chicken. All right, so we're melting some butter in the same pot. We have a lot of other messy dishes, but at least this pot's getting well used. So melting the butter, and we're gonna add milk and flour and make our base. Add our flour to the melted butter and give it a good whisk. And again, we're gonna add in some milk. Add our whole milk. This is not a healthy dinner, but it is worth it. So we're gonna whisk this and let it get thick and bubbly and delicious. And we are also now gonna add our chicken broth. I have low sodium chicken broth. You need 3 cups of this, and I'm doing 4.5 since I'm 1.5ing the recipe. So you're gonna add this to the milk, flour, butter sauce, stir it around and allow it to thicken. All right, now that our sauce has thickened, I added a couple teaspoons of fresh lemon, some fresh chopped parsley in here. See how nice and thick the sauce is. And now we are gonna pour the vegetables that we had on reserve into the pot, along with the shredded chicken and also 3/4 cup of frozen peas. That's our last veggie. You're just gonna stir our cooked veggies, all of the shredded chicken to this big old pot. Stir. And then we are going to pour it in a 9x13 baking dish. Kind of the final product. This nice, creamy, homemade chicken pot pie base with everything in the recipe except the mushrooms. But if you love mushrooms, I'm sure you would like those in the recipe. So we're gonna pour this into a baking dish and then add our biscuit topping. Okay, there it is. So now I'm just going to take the biscuit crumble topping and place it just kind of scattered, stacked on top. So then we're gonna finish baking it. And that's kind of what it looks like when it's done. So, all right, that is it for me for today. I hope that you guys try this. I hope that you love it. And if you try it, let me know, because I hope that you're equally as obsessed with this recipe as I am. So happy chicken pot pie, happy fall, even though it's like 90 degrees here today. Yeah, anyways, see you guys next week.